nerds, welcome back to the Hot Nerd Network, your ultimate destination for exploring the rich tapestry of diverse personalities from the real world to Oz. We're thrilled to have you here today as we dive into the magical, complex, and wonderfully green world of Wicked. And today we're going to be exploring everything from the movie's standout performances to its themes of friendship, ambition, and identity. Plus, we'll sprinkle in some fun personality archetype discussions and games to keep things exciting. So grab your broomsticks and settle in. This is going to be a thrilling ride through Oz. And I couldn't do any of this alone today without my wonderful mom. Hey, Hot Nerd Cheryl.
Hey.
Excited to get started.
Yes, I'm ready. I'm excited.
All right, so time for some fun. Let's go ahead and play like a rapid fire round of most likely to, but Wicked style. So, what I love is, what I think we could potentially do here is just take the Wicked characters, right? And Mommy, you're familiar with drafts. You know, you've done your little NFL drafts. You know what
Yeah.
a snake draft is, right? Where one person picks, the next person picks, but then they pick again, and then they go back to the other person.
hmm
Okay, cool. So I figured we could do that here and build our teams of three for
hmm
each of these categories. All right. Is that okay with you?
That's fine.
Okay, cool. So the first question is, and I'll kick us off here, is who's most likely to lead a rebellion? Okay. I think it'll be pretty easy. Pretty easy. I'm sorry, I'm going first here, but I'm going to pick my girl Elphaba. She's already starting to lead a rebellion at the beginning of this. I mean, sorry, at the end of this movie, but really all throughout. And one thing that we didn't say in our last segment is that I think another reason why she is so animal focused too is because her first moments of love and care were from her nanny, um, who was a bear. And so I forget her nanny's name, but I do
You're
think
right. Who was an animal? Yes. Yes. You're right.
so. I do think that she's just so passionate about her purpose that
hmm
Elphaba is the most likely to lead a rebellion. I kick it over to you now to say what character from this universe is
So
also most likely to lead a rebellion.
I think we have to really think through the definition of rebellion because
Mm.
your definition of rebellion sounds like to me some I look at it more as like an advocacy like civil rights. Like Martin Luther King, he didn't rebel. He was like I am speaking up for the people who can't speak up for themselves, and so I didn't look at that as a rebellion. So I would definitely put Galinda at the top of my list of rebellion because she's like, I'm ready to fight. To me, wicked people are like, nah, we're gonna rebel. We're gonna go against you trying to be good because we don't believe in that. So I think that's the difference here. Is like what? How do we define rebellion?
Listen, this is we have the prompt. The audience can decide whose team wins most. But mom, it's back on you in our snake draft. Who's your second out of your three-person team for who's most likely to lead a rebellion of these characters? Who's following Galinda?
Okay, so let me see. Um, there's characters here who I don't know all their names, but I there's like the two people who were always with
Oh,
Galinda, her two like little sidebar people.
yeah.
They're gonna be the next people who are gonna be on her rebellion side. Or no, let me take that back. No, 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 no. I
Okay.
Madam
Horrible.
Warble, she's going to be on my rebellion team. She's the next one.
I wanted to take her. She's a good one.
No,
Why
no,
you?
yeah,
Why
she's the
you?
next one. Yeah.
Why is she on? Why do you pick Madame Morrible?
Because her evilness came out. Everyone was thinking she just wanted to be so really help Elphaba become this powerful rich when she really knew that Elphaba had the power to be able to read that book and to be able to use the powers. She knew, oh, she can do this because I guess she also had the powers. But I don't. Again, I'm still learning all that these characters can do, but yeah, she straight up is not good. So I again, my definition of rebellion are the people who aren't good and they wanna rebel and not be good.
Agreed. Yeah,
Mhm.
no. Madame Morrible, just to give you a little bit of backstory, she can control weather. We saw that a little bit
Yes.
in this.
Mhm.
But I think that there's some whispers out there in audience, correct me if I'm wrong, that she is actually the witch. She represents the north part of Oz.
Mhm.
You know how we talk about the Wicked Witch of the West and the East.
Mhm.
I think she represents the north. So I might be wrong there, but she definitely is a witch of her own powers. Is not defying gravity, but it is controlling the weather.
Mhm.
And there are some fan theories out there that she could be one of the contributors of the drought. And you know how that's what caused the whole animal people trying to put animals into cages, and the animals starting to go away, and like the Wizard of Oz may be able to put propaganda that it's the animals' fault for the drought, but it might actually be Madame Morrible's
Yeah, good point.
power.
Mhm.
You know, so she is, in a sense, starting some form of a big rebellion against the animals.
My
Um,
team, yeah. Who's
you,
yours? You know I'm competitive. I'm like, "Oh, wait a minute, I'm getting into this."
you
Okay.
know, that's why I love this segment. So I'm going to go ahead and recruit. It's hard for me, but I'm going to go ahead and recruit Fiero.
That's what
Um,
I would do if I was you. Yes. Mhm.
yes, I
Mhm.
think Fiero is going to have to be on my side here because he
Mhm.
already has. I think the reason why I hesitate is because he needs to be incited into good, which is why he wasn't my first. But it's
Mhm.
right there. It's like right on the surface. It's just like he typically just goes with the flow. But Elphaba calls out and can see beyond the facade and encourages him, and I think, inherently wants to do good for others and is willing to fight on behalf of others. So that's why I pick Fiero for my second placement. And then to finish off my team, I do want to pick Dr. Dillamond.
That's
he
not cool. You shouldn't be on your team. He should be on my team. I wanted him.
he how the snake draft works. I
Well,
get to finish.
But you know what? You're right. He should be on your team. Yeah, he should be. Because in my mind, I'm thinking more methodically, like who is really going to fit with each group to be successful on their side, right? And you're right. He should be on yours because I would want to be on Alphaba's team.
Yeah,
He should be on yours.
no, I get you. And for all the reasons we're probably both thinking, he's like the brains behind the operation. He's the wisdom, the sage. He knows what's come
Yeah,
beforehand
yeah.
and guide them for the future. So while I don't know how he would do from a fighting standpoint, that's why we got Elphaba and we've potentially got Fiero. But from a wisdom standpoint, that's who I finish out my team with. But who I pass it back to you. Who's your last person?
Um, the wizard.
The Wizard of Oz, yeah.
Last person, yeah, he would be on mine. And I think that kind of balances out. But I wanted to go back to Fierro. I disagree with you on him being persuaded. It's interesting how we define who these people are. I think he's very aware and he knows what he wants. I don't think he just goes with the flow. I think he does what he wants to do based on how he feels. His feelings transition, like I think he sees things just like we all do. We see things differently when actions happen. Like he didn't realize he was going to start to have different feelings for Alphaba until they went through that journey together. Because Alphaba didn't tell him to take that lion or that cub. She was like, "What are you doing?" He says, "Let's get out of here. Are you coming?" And she didn't tell him to do that. He did that
You
on
are
his own.
right. You are
Yeah.
right.
So I don't. I look at him as being very good. I don't look at him as being evil. So I think we both chose the right people to be on our rebellion teams, even though I don't think that your team is rebellion at all.
They're
I think
advocacy.
they're out to save the world and they're out to be heroes. I
Yeah.
look at them as being the heroes.
Yeah, no, one to clarify fear. I don't think that he was evil. I just think that he remember Elphaba was like, "You try to act as if you don't care, but you do." You know,
Absolutely. He absolutely cares. And I don't even think he acted like he didn't care. He was just kind of like you said, he was going with the flow. He's like, I just like everybody. I'm in love with life. I'm free. I'm not really thinking about anything, which is perfect because he's like, that's why I'm going from school to school because they just can't, nobody can figure out how to handle me. I'm
oh,
just living my best life. I'm a king. I'm a prince.
right. And they got the perfect person to play
Oh my gosh. He
Jonathan
was
Bailey.
so amazing. Jonathan Bailey,
Yeah,
yeah,
Jonathan Bailey.
he was freaking amazing. Every character who was chosen was absolutely perfect.
Casting director went off.
They really did. Even down to Jeff Goldblum. I would have never thought of that as the wizard, but he was perfect.
He was
I mean, he was absolutely perfect. And I've been loving in his interviews how he's the oldest out of the group, obviously. And there is just so you can see the contrast of what he knows from history and what they know, when he's kind of explaining things and his thoughts, but like we're doing right now, his thoughts in comparison to other actors and everything. Just a quick sidebar: the in one of the interviews with Kelly Clarkson, he was describing John Bailey's character as being like Gregory Peck in and it was another older or Cary Grant. It was like older actors, and then Ariana Grande and the others were looking at him like, who are they? It was just so interesting to see the contrast of times of them understanding things. Anyway, that was a sidebar,
I
but no,
love
I
that.
think that they did. They definitely put all the characters in the right place. They chose the right people, and we chose the right teams. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, I completely agree.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so there we go. Please vote to see whose team you would vote for would actually win a rebellion. Okay, I mean, Mom, it looks like your team's pulling out kind of strong right now. So our team's going out a little bad. We'll see if it turns around in the next movie. But
I know, and it's so interesting because in the end, the Wicked Witch of the West, she gets killed. So
yeah,
it's like,
or
and
does she?
that's what I was wondering too. Or does she? Is that a different witch that gets killed? Like, is Alphaba really the Wicked Witch of the West? We don't know.
Who
We really
knows?
know. So we'll have to see what really happens there. But I do think that but it's like the good, it seems to come out in the end, and they seem to win in the end. But the rebellious team, I think, is going to give a good fight, obviously, and kind of pushing back.
Agreed. Well,
Mhm.
thank you for playing this most likely to game. And yeah, well, excited to see everybody's thoughts on everything below.